Welcome to this week's edition of Weekend Price and Flow. As we gear up for the trading week of January 5th to 9th, we'll dive into the latest insights and trends for NQ, ES, and GC. Stay tuned as we prepare you with the essential information to navigate the markets effectively. Let's get started. The US-Venezuela news will be a key focus on Monday. Traders appear to be shifting back into the Dow and Russell indices. Overall, options flow is showing a bullish trend across all markets. Nvidia and Google are providing support, especially after a strong sell-off on Friday for most stocks. The order flow for the S&P looks the most bullish, followed closely by the Nasdaq. However, gold is showing bearish signals, so that will be closely monitored. Let's dive into futures with a look at price, options flow, order flow. NQ, Nasdaq futures, sold off all of last week with a big 500-point swing on Friday. Options flow for futures was negative, but for the QQQ options were positive, meaning there is no agreement there. Looking at cumulative order flow, we were negative most of the week, but closed in the green even though price closed red. ES, S&P futures, sold off all week with a doji plus candlestick pattern close on Friday. Futures option flow is positive, but SPY options were negative, no agreement going into next week. Cumulative order flow for the week was mostly positive with only one deep red day, GC, gold futures. After the big sell-off on Monday, price started to form a flag range on the daily. There was a lot of attention on metals with increases in margin requirements thanks to silver and rumors of failing banks. Options flow is negative as of Friday, but looking to rebound. Cumulative order flow started the week really green, but gave into sell-side pressure and stayed red for most of the week. RTY, Russell Futures, and YM, Dow Futures. Both started off the week red and continued to sell off. However, on Friday, both of these indices rebounded and closed strong green. This signals rotation instead of liquidity leaving the markets. Options flow is bullish for both, while cumulative order flow is neutral to slight bearish on YM and neutral to slight bullish on RTY. VIX, S&P Fear Index, slight increase as indices prices fell, but closed down every day last week. Options flow is neutral to slight positive, and near-term volatility order flow is neutral while price continues to fall lower. This signals there is less fear in the market to start the year. Let's see if that changes as the US-Venezuela news gets absorbed this week. Overall, we did see really nice sell-off in NQ, ESGC, but with a strong close with RTY and YM, along with VIX at lows, makes me think traders and investors are still willing to put money to work, and we just need reasons to rotate back. Now let's review the top names in QQQ, NQQ and SPY, ES NVDA, Nvidia. Price is strong, breaking out. Options are bullish. Order flow tried to sell off but closed strong on Friday. Strong and leading. APPL, Apple, price was sideways all week, then tried to break out Friday but closed back into the range. Options are bullish. Order flow has been consistently bearish, so let's see if we break down. MSFT, Microsoft, price was sideways with a big breakdown on Friday, closing near the daily lows. Options are bearish but trying to rebound. Order flow tried to fight to green most of the week, but broke down to bearish to end the week. AVGO, Broadcom, price was sideways all week, then tried to break out Friday but closed back into the range. Options are bullish. Order flow has been consistently bearish, so let's see if we break down. AMZN, Amazon, price was sideways, then tried to break out, but broke down and closed near lows on Fridays. Options are bearish, but trying to rebound. Last week, order flow is really bullish, but this week started neutral and gradually increased bearish into Friday. TSLA Tesla, price selling off all week with a big dump on Friday. Options flow bearish and order flow consistently bearish, but price is hitting an imbalance zone. Let's see how price reacts there this week. Meta. Price was sideways with a big breakdown on Friday, closing near the daily lows. Options are bullish. Order flow was overall neutral for last week, so let's see if we can rebound this week. Google, price was sideways all week, then tried to break out Friday, but closed back into the range. Options are bullish. Order flow has been consistently bullish, so let's see if we break out. Price still strong near highs. Overall, Nvidia and Google are leading us upward, with most names having a strong sell-off on Friday. This makes me cautious for longs on NQ to start the week. Let's see how price develops, and if support and bullish flow holds for all the names. Okay, let's look at gold and macro. DXY dollar, minimal movement this week, but has been moving down the last couple of weeks. Now trading back in the range since June, TNX Treasury Note continues to trade near late Sept highs. BTC, Bitcoin, continues to coil in a flag pattern and options flow is bearish. CL, crude oil, in downtrend near AUG lows. Options flow is bullish though. Let's see if the US-Venezuela news creates any changes here. SI Silver, price holding above the 69 support level after the crazy run up. Options flow is bearish, so let's see what this week brings. PA Palladium came all the way back to begging of deck prices. It will be in a wide range for a while. HG Copper price is holding up, forming a wedge, looking its move. Overall, silver looks to be the chart to watch to see if volatility will continue. But keeping an eye on crude oil given the recent news. Okay, now let's look at all the sectors. XLK, technology, price is up, but trying to break down. Options bearish. XLF, finance, price run up with correction. Rebound Friday. Options bearish. XLY, consumer price sell off from recent highs. Options bullish. XLE energy, price breaking out, strong close Friday. Options bullish. XLV, healthcare, price sideways, breakdown but rebound Friday. Options bullish. XLI, industrial, price is up and looking to break highs. Options bullish. XLP staples, price continues to break down, support holding. Options bullish. XLU, utilities, price down, but testing resistance. Options bullish. Overall, options is mostly bullish across the sectors, with tech and finance being the laggards. Consumer discretionary and staples seem to be the weakest though. Now let's check out this proprietary matrix powered by AI that I built. This provides market breadth view and provides a signal for what price movement means for NQ, ES, and GC futures. Takeaways on Friday is as follows. Sectors and macro support more bullish price action, while the top 8 equities are weighing us down with more bearish action. NVDA, GOOG keeping equities up though. Okay, let's look at options flow. Looking at the last 5 trading days using Spot Gamma's HIRO and Trace Insights. Light yellow indicated 0 DTE flow, while dim yellow indicates longer dated flow. NQ Review NDX is our proxy for options flow. Options flow supported the sell-off going into New Year's and the flip back positive at beginning of the year, but price has yet to follow suit. However, it is a positive sign that flow is turning more positive even with the weak close on Friday. ES Review ODTE options flow relatively neutral most of last week and has started to pick up. Longer dated options did see a spike on Deck 31ist, so let's see if price follows suit going into next week. Overall options flow does point upwards. GC Review GLD for options flow. Short date options flow has been relative flat, but slowly moving upward. In the short term, looks like most are betting for a bounce. However, we do see some nice sell-offs in longer dated options flow, which signals more downside bets in the future. SPX Gamma Heat Map on Friday options flow was very bullish to start the day, but then turned bearish. The majority of trades were ODTE, which very few carrying over into next week. Price stayed in negative gamma territory as we bounced between 6,900 and 6,800. Those are the levels to watch for next week. And now my favorite data, order flow. Looking at the last 5 trading days of order flow using ExoCharts and DXFeed. NQ Review CVD was red most of the week. While trying to go green on Friday, there was some big 150 plus contract trades to start the day, but could not push us up. Imbalance levels to watch. 25,320, 25,640, 25,850 ES Review CVD was green most of the week, with only Wednesday afternoon showing weakness. However, end of Wednesday to Friday, we saw a lot of 200 plus contract sell trades, which seemed to keep price suppressed. Imbalance levels to watch. 6,865, 6,880, 6,920 GC Review CVD staying bearish for the week, with more clusters of big trades, 10 to 50 plus contracts. Imbalance levels to watch. 4,350, 4,385, 4,400. Here are my final 2 cents. The US-Venezuela news will be top of mind on Monday to see how the world and markets reacts. Aside from that, looks like indices are rotating back into RTY and YM. while options flow is generally more bullish. ES order flow looks the strongest bullish, followed by NQ. GC seems the most bearish, so we'll be watching that. Preparation over prediction. Let's see how we open on Monday. You can see all the upcoming events this week. Looks like we have some opportunity for volatility towards the end of the week, but we have to see how futures react to the US-Venezuela news, where Maduro is in US custody now. This may provide uncertainty to start off the week. Thanks for watching.